Once Upon a Time in Sokoto is set in the period of pre-colonial Nigerian history, so before the country existed. And a lot of the historical records were systematically destroyed by British forces, and the rest of it hasn't been translated into English, which means that I needed to do a ton of research. And I spent maybe 2 or 3 years purely doing that. And when I began to conceive of how to pare them down and create a story, there was something I discovered in the writings of Hilary Mantel. And she wrote about how history isn't truth or fact, it is a record of what's left on the record. And that gave me the freedom to create and to sculpt a story that I felt was informative, historically accurate to a certain degree, but also entertaining and also filled with the magic of storytelling. So shout out to Hilary Mantel. Play focuses on Zinari and Nafisa, and Zinari was born into a conservative Muslim household with a renegade father who went against tradition to give all his wealth and power and business to his only daughter. This also included the inheriting of slaves, which Zinari refused instantly to partake in. And she ends up selling most of her slaves, all of them eventually. But the story hinges on one rebellious young girl who comes back for revenge. Her name is Nafisa. And because of the colonial pressures and dangers and eventually the colonization which befell the entire region, it forced their home domestic life into a pressure cooker, which was pressurized into this diamond of a friendship, which was very unlikely given everything that they faced. And this is what the story sort of goes through, understanding what was pulling and pushing the women against each other and how they went through these incredible obstacles in order to form a friendship. The form of the play is written with aspects of traditional storytelling, which is essentially how I grew up learning about storytelling and learning about performance, actually, by the stories my parents would tell me when I was a kid, particularly my mother, and then watching my father entertain whole groups of men eating beer and meat by telling stories. So I wanted to try and create a story that unfolded across similar traditional patterns, which meant that I had to steer away from classic Western theatrical storytelling devices, which is two people talking in a room, for instance. With the storytellers, we're able to give some historical context. We're able to create a layer of dissonance and discord that sits above the dissonance and discord in the story, but also we can hint at things that happen outside of the world of the story, which also inform, at least in a meta-narrative way, some of the politics of the day. We understand then how little bits of information might have drastically changed the decisions of some of the characters if they had known. And for me, that adds to the sense of tragedy of misinformation, which we're experiencing right now in our modern world. I think it's able to compare and contrast and illuminate, but also allow the story to live beyond itself. So the storytellers allow me the opportunity to do that in really interesting ways.